way I start the process is by making a pattern of 3 colours, which is built up. These 3 colours are magenta, cyan and lemon, and these 3 colours, although they come from printing, are 3 colours of paint which are called process paint. And process paint is, as young students would use it, is supposed to make every colour. And then normally it's layered using a household paint with an acrylic. It's a white household paint, so it's then cut, and then the cuts are stained using the 3 colours. So different combinations of them. So it might start as a red, it might start as blue, it might start as a yellow. Different, but always just one of those 3 colours, and then it's layered up with the other 2. And so it depends on, I suppose, the intensity of how I want the colours to work as well. So after that stage, it's then layered with the green, and then it comes away, hopefully. Okay, so what I'm doing here is I'm cutting in through the layers of paint back to the canvas support. So I've already previously scored this particular one in straight lines the whole way down it, so that's where these kind of patterns is coming, or the cut pattern is coming from, and then it's literally a cutting process. So once I have this completely done throughout the whole of the canvas, I'll layer it back up then using more paint and more medium gel, so that it will become a more solid piece of paint for when the cutting actually happens, which is slightly more like this. So it's taking the whole thing away. It's quite tricky to get it away in one piece, but then I don't try to control that too much, because I feel that if I do, I'm not allowing the process to dictate what you get left with, which is a lot of what the work is about. The final image is the process. It only is possible because of the process and because of all of the different layers of paint that has gotten it to the stage where it unfolds itself into being. Sometimes it feels like I'm making a cake with the amount of paint that I'm trying to mix up in a bucket. So that's my cake mix, as I said. So it's those 3 colours that are put into that. They make that colour. This one, again, because it's made directly onto the wall, you get little glitches. So there's been nails, because this was my working wall for a long time. So there's lots of nail marks which puncture the paint. You can see like the paint gets stuck in the little holes. So you get these kind of like little almost sculptural residues. So I suppose one of the things is trying to find ways that you don't just allow the paint to hang, that because it's now become an object in itself, you can work with its 3-dimensional objectness and also address painting concerns, this type of idea that it can still be rooted in painting, but also kind of addressing the sculptural issue or 3-dimensional space that people inhabit and how they go into a way into the work that isn't just an illusion of an image. What I'm hoping for the piece in the MAC is that, as I said, it'll be a variation of this, but the MAC wall itself will dictate how it looks. The MAC wall being a very new wall, I don't know again how the plaster is going to work underneath it. You're allowing yourself 5 days to install something that you really don't know what it's going to look like, and you're really allowing the painting to, as I said, unfold itself and to be in the world all of its own. But it's an opportunity that actually it'd be too kind of, you kind of have to go with it. These are the paintings that I have made specifically for the space in the MAC. This one was the first one that I made, and again this is as complete as it's going to be here before it goes to the Mac, and the pink that you see behind it will be part of the installation, because I'm hoping that this one you will be able to walk around. The back of them has become, I suppose, increasingly important, because what you get at the back is the stain from each of the layers. I did for a time work in the Irish Museum of Modern Art, and I kind of became fascinated by the backs of paintings, because I suppose historically people used to write a lot of information on them, and also the backs tell the story of how much the canvas has been abused. So you know, the kind of over time, I kind of like the idea, because we're not often allowed to be at the back of a painting. The intention for the Mac show is that it will be lit with a black light, so that the paint will have, I suppose, another dimension to it, in the sense that it may float. Before I made these, and I think it may have been one of those unconscious taking of something, but glowing rocks in the Ulster Museum have seemed to have had some kind of a profound effect upon me. The idea that neon was used and seen as being like a total representation of modernity, right? Because it's a colour that only exists because of scientific mishap, right? So it happens. But then also how it absolutely went out of fashion. It's become associated with seediness and nastiness, or advertising. I quite like the idea of using it as an attention-grabbing tool. And again, it's to try and get people to spend that extra little bit of time with something, to see maybe the process in a different way, and also maybe to see the intricacy of how these paintings are made. You can kind of see a struggle in some of them, which is an elegance to that struggle for me. And a kind of a physical battling with the materials or the ideas of painting in a way that is hopefully intriguing and engaging, and adding something to the viewer's experience of painting, or even the idea that they might just question, this isn't a painting. Like, that to me is actually really important, and it's what I hope to achieve, I suppose, by making the work I make.
Yeah, what the colours inside.
Yeah, because I'm cutting it, I like to have it.
Yeah.
For me, I suppose, it's part of the process that they really do perform for themselves. I can only have so much control before the actual, I suppose, almost like the chemistry, the mechanics of how these liquids and things are made really take over. Well, I know for me anyway, you can only do a certain amount of preparing in the studio. So no matter how much drawing you do or how much painting you do and making these objects, when you get them into the space, you have to be sensitive to that space. Fortunately, this is a beautiful white, perfect walled space. And it is a really amazing opportunity to be able to do a piece on a wall like this. Because to date, it's kind of tricky to convince somebody that you're going to do or make a piece and then you don't really know what it's going to look like. So there's a big chance in that, and a lot of, I suppose, from their point of view, a lot of confidence in me. So that's like, okay, we'll go with it and see what happens. They're kind of, in a strange way, I kind of think of them as being dressed. You know, you have it to a certain point and then you come in and you add the extra pieces to it. The steel legs and the steel that I'm using, because steel isn't a material that's intrinsic to painting, I kind of had to make a compromise with that. But I think for me anyway, it's worked really, really well, because as it was pointed out to me, if you had drawings, you would frame them. So these are frames. They hold them, they support them, they give them the objectiness, the fact that the person is invited to walk around the back of the painting, because that's so rare. So I suppose in many ways that's where this work then crosses over that boundary into a three-dimensional object, a sculptural aspect to the painting. I mean, another aspect to the show is that the titles are not going to be on each of the works at the moment. because I don't feel that you need to see the title to read the work. And I know that that can be tricky for an audience, but I mean, I'm not titling them, I'm just not putting the titles right beside them. You know, because the materials are very important if somebody wants to know exactly what's in them. And as Barry Schwabsky says, how else would you know it's art if it doesn't have a title? Because I know somebody will say, these aren't paintings, you know, so I'm like, okay, bring it on.